It's gonna be pretty chilly around in the forms of that particular winter horns, let me tell you. But as a result though, we're still gonna be brave enough to able to actually conquer this little cold and stuff like that. Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, it is I am the one and only Mexi here once again, and I am back for yet again for the likes of the Mexi Toys videos here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Kirby and the Forgotten Land for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time, we have essentially managed to able to 100% through everything in terms of the third world in this game, which appears to be by the forms of Wanderer Remains, by able to actually tackle through not only more portals to discover, and as well as the forms of this level right here, and also we did beat the likes of the forms of Chlorine, twice by the way, due to the forms of how to factor with that mission objectives wise. So as a result though, yeah, that's basically how this goes. So today for this video is the fact that we are going to be moving on to the next level, or should I say the next world in this game, which appears to be Winter Horns. So yeah, we go into a snowy environment if you can tell. So anyways, let's begin, shall we? So the first level we have is the forms of Northeast Frost Strait. So in this case we're going to be exploring the forms of a snowy kind of town. And kind of think about it, that particular clock tower in the distance, it does remind me of a very similar vibe, as in Nights into Dreams kind of vibe. So yeah, it does seem pretty cool. So anyway, let's get this thing to it. So yeah, I do apologize with that background noise you'll be hearing. That's only mainly because someone else out there just managed to decide to do some grass cutting and stuff like that, or maybe just branching cutting. So yeah, I do apologize for that, especially noticeable that, well, thankfully you can still hear the game audio very well, especially noticeable with my commentary and stuff like that. Well, let's just hope that, unlike in the last video, that for some reason in the last video on this, is the fact that for some reason my mic just goes all glitched up, and as a result though, my mic commentary gets out of sync. But hopefully this time around for this video, hopefully that's not the case. So anyway though, so let's get this thing to it. So it's important to know about the fact that we always have to search on something, especially noticeable on this particular secret, mainly on that particular area as we've already explored. So yeah, that might be something worth a while to able to double check. So a few things I want to explain for this point today, and that is the fact that today's day is of course the 11th of April today, in this case in 2022 today. So remember what I said back in the forms of in Mario Party 8 Let's Play in Goomba's Booty Boardwalk board? Basically, it's the fact that recently yesterday, that the Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event did manage to held yesterday. And it looks like they actually brings us into ourselves some surprise announcements, including one huge game coming up, and during at some point, maybe in the next few years' time, depending on the forms of the development cycle. So as a result though, let's get to the forms of the beginning portion out of the way first. First of all, they did announce a new update for the likes of the forms of Kingdom Hearts Key Dark Road. So in this case though is the fact that I think it's more accurately like a finale portion or something. Mind you, I haven't exactly played that much of Dark Road because I just get a feeling that that particular game is remarkably similar to Union Cross, except the fact that thankfully I don't need to play that game anymore because obviously I can rewatch the actual theater, and that's all that matters to me because, you know, as far as I'm aware, the story aspect is actually the best aspect of the forms of Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, because that usually takes place before the events of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep and the Keyblade War. So at least that's something, I guess. And as far as I'm aware, that I believe that the finale portion of Kingdom Hearts Key Dark Road, I believe that particular finale is going to be released and during at some point on August. So we can able to expect about the fact that we can able to discuss more details about that if we manage able to get into other Let's Plays in the future. So, and after that though, we actually get ourselves another mobile game, but it actually plays out like a proper Kingdom Hearts game. Well, kind of anyway. That's what appears to be by the forms of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. So, yeah, it seems interesting, especially noticeable. I almost first thought that was going to be on the PlayStation 4, or Xbox One, or Series X, or even a Switch, but it turns out it was actually going to be on mobile exclusive once again, so it's kind of a downside honestly, but regardless of everything else though, is the fact that the gameplay itself for Kingdom Hearts Missing Link I'm pretty sure it's kind of identical to Chain of Memories, like you're able to actually move around, and also when you try to deal with Heartless and stuff like that. Basically, I believe you get yourselves a free rolling control of yourself, or full control of yourself this time around, I'm guessing so anyway. And also, similar to the forms of how it does it on Kingdom Hearts Union Cross and Dark Road, and especially noticeable with, you know, Chain of Memories, I'm pretty sure you need able to actually utilize those specific collectibles in order able to actually attack the Heartless, which I'm guessing this time around though, you have to utilize the statues or figurines in order able to do some bit of damage to certain enemy encounters and stuff, but either way though, it knows what it is for the most part, so... Anyway, and finally, the biggest event out of them all though, when it comes to the 20th anniversary of the Kingdom Hearts event, that's what it appears to be, yes, another numbered entry Kingdom Hearts game has been announced, which this time it is Kingdom Hearts 4. So, yeah, it doesn't take that long, doesn't it, when it comes to likely, well, after the events of the release of Kingdom Hearts 3, back in the forms of in 2019, in PS4 and Xbox One versions, and, I would classify for saying 2021 for PC versions or something, and, 2022 for this year for the Switch terrible port, because, obviously with lag, and also with, you know, cloud streaming services, although it's understandable for bigger games like that, but unfortunately though, it's just the fact that I'm still going to be skipping over the Switch re-releases because, well, obviously Wi-Fi connection is still required, so kind of a nuisance anyway, but regardless of such though, that's as far as I can usually describe about it, so, and, yeah, for what I've seen, the trailer of Kingdom Hearts 4, that it just looks absolutely amazing with all that realistic version of Sora. In fact, kind of thinking about it, he looks exactly a lot different than the forms of how it does it back in the past games. Because normally that he does have himself his long spiky hair in the past few games. Well, to be more specifically, the one that started it all since in, well, Kingdom Hearts 1. And all the way up to Kingdom Hearts 3, including Melody of Memory, if you want to include that. So, yeah, apparently that his hair is going to get a lot shorter, while still able to retain spiky hair. So as a result, though, he's still got the actual old Sora look, except the fact that the biggest difference is this time, that he no longer has himself the forms of that biggest clown shoes this time around, which most people seemed able to miss the old days, which including myself. So as a result though, they're going for a more realistic approach by able to go for the actual trainers. So yeah, kind of interesting, all things considered. And also during the gameplay footage, it feels kind of identical, or in this case kind of like the equivalent to not only Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 0.2, a fragmentary passage, but to be more specifically, Kingdom Hearts 3, because obviously with the, you know, the movements and the UI and stuff like that, at least at the moment anyway, that, relatively speaking, it's just the fact that the UI, display was actually a lot like the forms of Kingdom Hearts 3, although the only difference is this time is the fact that, relatively speaking, it's just the fact that I'm not exactly sure what the actual, the translation with all that. Well, at the moment right now, every single UI text is obviously in Japanese and stuff like that, you know, just like the forms of how it does it back in E3 2013, where they managed able to first announce Kingdom Hearts 3 coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So as a result though, I'm very curious to see what the actual UI of the Japanese translated stands for. But either way though, I'll probably do a massive research on it until the next few days. Although, to be more specifically, if I decide to come back into this game. So, anyway, so, and as far as I'm aware, yeah, it does look pretty cool and awesome. And after that though, we get ourselves a bit of a short clip of course, Donald and Goofy makes its return ever since in the past few Kingdom Hearts games. So as a result though, and I think they did manage to explore around in the darkness and stuff like that, although if I have to recall, that that particular blue flame, it does kind of familiar, doesn't it? You know, with the forms of the villain from Hercules? Yeah, it was Hades once again. I'm guessing so anyway, because Well, it seems that every single Kingdom Hearts games up to this point, well, the only time exception being in forms of Birth by Sleep 0.2, because that usually takes place in the Dark World, where you're able to take control of Aqua and stuff like that, and also by the forms of Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, because, well, that particular game does not have an Hercules world. So yeah, in each and every single games up to this point, they obviously always contain a Hercules world, like Olympus or Olympus Coliseum, including the Underworld segment here and there for KH2's sake. So, oh, and by the way, you need to head over there to able to actually get there another Waddle Dee, so, and in fact, gotta think about it, that particular area right there, that does remind me of the forms of Night into Dreams vibe. Well, to be more specifically, Journey of Dreams, to be more specific, in the final level in that game, between the forms of William and Helen, and stuff like that, at least as far as I can usually respect that, because I know for the fact it has been about a year ago since I actually last played Night's Journey of Dreams, because, well, we already done that Let's Play back in about a year ago, so if you want to check it out, then you can. So, there we go, that concludes that particular level, so pretty simple and self-explanatory, at least if you pretty much know where the actual secrets are, especially noticeable with every single Waddle Dees you must find them throughout, so, yeah, that seems the case, so, alright, so we got more portals to be able to actually just appear. Alright, so I believe we'll move on to the next level, which appears to be Metro on Ice. So, or Metro on Ice, as far as I would try to mention about that, for that mispronunciation with that level. So, apparently though, we're gonna be ended up in, let's just say like a subway, kind of like a train station or something like that for the tunnel, except the fact that everything else is covered in ice. So, seems pretty cool though. And, yeah, the only question thing about this is, though, is the fact that since that Kingdom Hearts 4 is actually in development at the moment, so as a result, though, that, the only thing it's worth noting for is the fact that we have no idea when the actual game is going to be released in terms of system hardware. I think my guess is it will probably be the PlayStation 5 exclusive because, well, as far as I'm aware, because of the forms of how the fact that it's made by a different engine, like Unreal Engine 5 or something like that, because unlike the forms of how it does it on Birth by Sleep 0.2 and Key Back Cover Movie and Kingdom Hearts 3, that those three Kingdom Hearts games in particular did manage to be made by Unreal Engine 4. So my guess is the fact that with Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be made by not only Square Enix and Disney, but also Unreal Engine 5, at least as far as I'm guessing correctly. So, and if that seems to be the case with the PS5 exclusive though, oh boy, we're gonna have to able to try to hunt down for the PlayStation 5, because as far as I'm aware, it's gonna get ridiculously hard to get right now. Especially noticeable with the forms of Xbox Series X as well, because if that serves to be the case as well, oh boy, that'll be something, I guess. It will not my likely gonna be on the Switch though, on the other hand though, because I personally speaking that, I don't think the Switch can able to actually just able to have advanced, you know, advanced graphics visual standpoints, because as far as I'm aware, that it's hard to explain, because I know for the fact it has been a while since I actually mentioned something like this, especially noticeable because, I'm just so excited about that. Although, the only thing it's worth noting for as well, is that when does the Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be releasing? It might not likely going to be in this year, because obviously this year is going to be for Kingdom Hearts Key, Dark Road's final update or something like that. And also on top of that, with the forms of, let's just say, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link for closed beta version. But I'm guessing that the full final version might be expected to be on next year or something. But even then, we'll just see what happens there. And as you can see, we actually stumbled across the Time Crash, and basically this allows you to able to slow everything else down, which, yeah, it does remind me of the forms of Time Break from the likes of Sonic and the Secret Rings, except the fact that, well, obviously if you use the actual Time Crash, basically this allows you to able to actually make every single enemies stop for a while, and then every once in a while if you keep on touching them, then basically the time actually extends onto the actual Time Crash. So yeah, that's actually pretty nifty copy ability upgrade, so that's why I classify that. So anyway, so yeah, what do I think about the forms of those specific announcements in terms of Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event? Honestly, it was pretty good. Like, usually the biggest highlight for me though is definitely the hype of Kingdom Hearts 4. But then again though, we're not exactly sure which specific system is going to be releasing on. My guess it'll be PlayStation 5 like I said, and maybe Xbox Series X for its advanced graphics powerhouse, and especially noticeable maybe PC as well for highly tech version of it or something like that. But I'm guessing no Switch version because the Switch can't able to handle this particular graphic style like that. So at least as far as I'm guessing so anyway, it's all about speculation of course. So anywho though. And also another thing I would like to mention about this as well is the fact that recently Sonic the Hedgehog 2 the movie is doing super well when it comes to not only for its reviews department, well to be more specifically in Cinema Score, that so far Cinema Score just managed able to rank the film as in A rank. So yeah, that's actually pretty awesome. Especially that, get this, is the fact that the actual box office for the film is actually doing really well. To be more specifically, from the likes of how the fact that at the moment, that has actually gone up to, let me just double check for a second, $141 million worldwide. So yeah, that's actually pretty impressive. Even especially noticeable, this is actually one of the best openings for the sake of the forms of the actual video game, live action, animated, hybrid kind of film or something like that. Or to be more specifically, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 set the record for best opening for a video game film adaptation. It also set the record for best opening for a live action / animated film hybrid, surpassing the opening of its predecessor, Sonic the Hedgehog, released in 2020. A film opened to $71 million in the United States and Canada, and $141 million worldwide. So yeah, it's a very impressive number, all things considered, because obviously the film is doing so much well than the forms of how it does in the predecessor. So I'm very happy about that. Especially notable because, well, relatively speaking, that some people usually say that, of course, the third film is in development, along with the Knuckles spin-off TV series, which is going to be exclusive to Paramount Plus. So I'm hoping that we will able to actually get the Paramount Plus and stuff like that in the future, to be more specifically at some point during the summer, or something like that. So, but either way though, it's all about speculating and waiting at the moment, so we're gonna have to able to wait for a little while. So, that might be serves to be the case, so anyway, and also, about the fact the matter is though, is that unfortunately though, my subscribers count is actually once again gonna go down, because as a result though, I have no idea why it just keeps on going down like this. Although at the moment I'm still at 500 still, which I guess is a good thing. But regardless of such though, it's just the fact that it's just so annoying and inconsistent, because there was that one point that we actually onto 504 subscribers in the past few weeks. But for some reason, my subscribers count just keeps on decreasing by 1 every single week. So yeah, it's a bit of annoying and inconsistent, especially noticeable because I just have no idea why it just keeps doing that. But either way though, yeah, that's just so annoying, especially noticeable how the fact that everything else goes all fine and dandy and everything. Although mind you, my videos views wasn't exactly all that high. So as a result though, yeah, I have no idea why I just say things like that, so anyway, so it looks like we've rescued another Waddle Dee, and I think there's actually, oh god, okay, there we go. Ah, thank goodness I did not fall off into the frozen water, because if I somehow get into the frozen water, then obviously it'll just make me lose a bit of health. So yeah, just gonna have to be very careful right here, because there is actually a secret in there. So that way, not only do we get ourselves another Waddle Dee, but also another capsule. So yay, let's just dive in and I was hoping I'd be able to actually land safely for this point, but apparently I somehow just dived straight into the actual frozen water all of a sudden. But Oh well, no big deal, but at the very least we actually got every single Waddle Dees at the moment, except with the forms in the final 3, which is going to be obviously towards the very end of the level, so... Yeah, not too bad this level though, especially noticeable because, although it still might be a bit lengthy though, when it comes to dealing with the forms of a lot of exploration and stuff like that, but regardless of such though, we've done this level, so yeah, pretty easy, all things considered, so... Anyway though, and also, once again, I did manage to play Mario Kart Tour again, which as a result though, still getting myself RNG on that game, especially noticeable because obviously with all that, you know, cheap items, or to be more specifically, the rubber banding AI sometimes, and even not to mention though, I cannot still stress enough about how bad the controls are in the game. Because, you know, I still need to be able to rely on touchscreen controls instead of the actual traditional usual controller. Like, I just have no idea why I just managed to bring this up again, because, well, I have no idea, because it has been about quite a few hours since I actually mentioned something like this, so, anyways, there's another portal that we can able to actually access to, including another one here and there as well, so... Anyways, I think we're pretty much going to do one last level for this point today, and that's what appears to be by the forms of... Well, as soon as I managed to able to go into this actual stage, when the freezing seas. So, yeah, this will be interesting. Especially that the main emphasis on this stage, I should say, is the fact that we have to rely on the forms of that specific strong wind. And then basically, though, is the fact that you're not able to pick the correct route if you manage to able to try to go ahead and avoid a lot of wind if possible. So, yeah, that's basically how the stage goes. So... But, yeah, I think suffice to say, that's as far as I can usually try and talk about for this point. Although, as far as I'm aware, like I mentioned this already, from the likes of the forms of how it does in the majority of this game, as far as the Let's Play is concerned, we were originally going to be able to do the Kingdom Hearts game collection video, during roughly the exact same time, as in, you know, the actual events did manage to happen. But I think I should probably wait for a little while until when God knows if Sonic were able to actually finish up with the entire Let's Play of WarioWare Twisted. So, and if he finishes that game, then we can pretty much guarantee we can now able to actually dive right into the next installment in terms of the forms of my video game collection video series. To be more specifically, based off from certain anniversaries of certain franchises. So... But as far as we can able to also do one for Mario, but I think it's probably best to wait for that, and doing at some point on 2025, so... Yeah, that could be for a very, very, very long time, especially noticeable that it might actually be one of the longest videos we can possibly do, for the sake of the forms of the entire video game collection videos up to that point. Well, I still classified the fact that the Wii collection video update is going to be still the longest videos we've ever done, especially noticeable because we actually got a lot of Wii games up to that point. Since, you know, the beginning of 2007, and all the way up to, well, let's just say, 2020 or something, because obviously that I no longer have a couple of games, to be more specifically with, Rayman Raving Rabbids trilogy, just because, oh man, I'm just getting so exhausted with all that motion-based stuff. So, and that's how I essentially give up with the forms of the Rayman Raving Rabbids series, because although I'm usually moved on to the forms of the just Rayman franchises right now, for all that, you know, with all that very simple and easy kind of gameplay and stuff like that. Well, mind you, on the original game's case, you know, with Rayman 1, it's still a bit tough in certain scenarios, to be more specifically with all that, you know, getting Electoons and stuff like that, but still, it just feels a bit nerve-wracking when it comes to difficulty sometimes, so... Anyway, so let's just go ahead and keep on exploring right here, so just in case if we don't missing something, to be more specifically that particular Waddle Dee I saw just down there, so we can able to activate the windmill, so that way we can able to actually just to go ahead and actually access that point, so at least we can able to expect, we can know what to expect. So yeah, I'm very surprised about the fact that we're actually getting very, very close to the forms of the halfway point in terms of April already. So yeah, because relatively speaking, because, well, some things I managed able to do in the past few days or something like that, so yeah, I pretty much expect of how this is going. So, anyway, jeez Louise, I hate when that happened right there. But anyway, at the very least we can able to, okay, I'm just gonna have to able to just get rid of that walrus right here, to able to actually just keep on tossing the bombs right in front of my face. And also we got ourselves another, oh yeah, I just should probably realize is the fact that we now actually stumble across those green capsules every now and then, which actually gives us the second volume in terms of those figurines. So, but still they are very random, so there might be a few times that you will able to come across into some new figurines, and other times you will come across into those duplicates every once in a while. So, yeah, that pretty much expect at this point. So, anyway, so let's go ahead and just try to fight against with the wind while trying to able to be very careful not to miss on something. For to be more importancy about this is that if we manage to lit up the actual lantern, then that way we'll find our way to retrieve another Waddle Dee to rescue. So I think we're only down to one more hidden Waddle Dee left, including that particular mission objective as well before we finish the actual level. So at least this level's not too bad so far anyway, because especially noticeable. I know for the fact that a lot of people seem to do not really care for the forms of the gust of wind kind of levels like that. Well, to be more specifically, in ever since a new Super Mario Bros. Wii in World 2-4, because obviously you have to utilize the wind and stuff like that. But it's not too bad on this specific case. So, anyways, let's melt this little ice cube to able to actually get another lantern to lit up, and that way it will actually reveals the path to able to show us the way to the secret passage, which, thanks to the forms of those specific star coins that actually just somehow display the path for us, so that way you don't able to actually get confused, to able to actually just to know where some secrets are. So, oh, I suppose I should probably mention about the final discussion for this point today, is that for somehow, from out of nowhere, that certain Switch owners, well, to be more specifically, one of the Switch owners just managed to able to actually receive Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp earlier on, without any release dates from any public releases. So, no idea why they managed to bring something like this happens though. But either way though, it might be hard to explain, because I know for the fact that we still haven't got any new release date replacement for Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp, because obviously that usually happens during the course of the Ukraine and Russian war. So yeah, that's been going on for a long while since, I would say since in March, the same month as when in the Oscars 2022 happened, where, you know, out of nowhere that Will Smith just somehow managed to slap Chris Rock. I'm guessing it's because he was overly protective on his wife, which is Judah Maker Smith, I think that's what it's at. Because I know for the fact that she was also the actor from the likes of Madagascar, as in Gloria. And obviously Chris Rock is voiced by, you know, Monty the Zebra. And then Will Smith is somehow voiced by Oscar from Shark Tale. Oh god, how can I usually explain this? Because I don't know about you, because I'm pretty sure that Shark Tale is easily, it's so ugly looking. For the visual standpoint and the presentation, and it's just, it gives me creeps. Anyway, so now we're done with that, and oh boy, this level coming up. I think I should probably save that in the next video, because first things first though, let me go ahead and head back on to Waddle Dee Town for a second, because I get the feeling that something usually happens in that specific time, I guess. That hopefully we'll try to able to upgrade ourselves we actually have ourselves our next segment for the actual Waddle Dee Town. So in this case we now actually have, is that supposed to be like, oh, let me guess, is there fishing in this? Yeah, I thought so. But thankfully though, I'm hoping it not be as problematic as certain Zelda games. And also, we're able to actually access to the item shop, which there are 3 items we can able to buy. But we'll show this off later, because obviously that the main important thing we need to do at this point is that we're able to upgrade ourselves into our fire ability into a much more of a stronger weapon. Because the reason why I have to do this though, because Oh boy, one of those missions coming up though is gonna be a pain. Like, literally a pain in the bum to do. Because, as far as I'm aware, you probably already know what exactly what I'm about to say. So anyways, let's go and upgrade ourselves our Dragon Fire. So we can able to upgrade that. So, and after when you fully involved your Kirby ability on the other hand though, there's an option for you. You can able to actually power up your Kirby ability to able to make things that twice as stronger as the forms of how it does it on your normal effective weapon, or to be more specifically with that ability. But I think I should probably save that until later on though, because obviously though is the fact that, yeah, you probably already know what I'm gonna save it up for later, for, you know, after collecting some more, you know, redstones in certain locations and all that stuff. So anyways, there's another hidden portal right over there. So I think I should probably save that until the next video, because obviously I don't have anything else to say about this. So yeah, join me next time for more of Let's Play of Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That is the fact that we'll go in and continue exploring through Winterhorns by going through the Battle of Blizzard Bridge. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I'll see you guys until on Wednesday. Later, fellas.